Hi, it's Elaine with MCPS Technology. Let's explore add-ons in Google. These are so easy to use and they really increase the functionality when you're in Google Docs or Slides or Forms or Sheets. Add-ons are made by third-party developers and offered by Google. Most of the time they're free, and even when they're not free, they don't cost very much. I'm in a doc right now, and you'll see some words on the page. This is an article about a museum restoring a painting, but that's kind of irrelevant. I just needed some words on the page so that I could demonstrate for you what some of the add-ons can do. So let's go get some add-ons. Whenever you're in a doc, along the top, you're going to see something that says add-ons. If you click on it, what you're seeing now are add-ons that I've already gotten, but I'd like to show you briefly how to get one. So let's click on Get Add-ons. It's going to bring up a window for you to the add-on store, and it's kind of like going shopping. So you can read about the add-ons and what they can do. For example, EasyBib is an add-on that helps you make bibliographies and citations. Where was this when we went to college, right? And as you can see, over 3 million people are using it. It's super easy to use. And I remember how frustrating it was trying to make a bibliography, all that indentation and what to include and not to include and capitalization. Well, it does it all for you. It's really super wonderful. Here's one called Easy Accents that helps you if you're typing in a language that uses lots of accent marks, like Spanish, for example. So let's just download that one really quickly, or I may already have that one. I do already have that one. Okay, so let's look at, oh, there's one I want to show you. Let's look at it. Okay, it's called Extensus Fonts. So I'm just going to search that really quickly. So one of the things that I miss about Microsoft Word, and there aren't many things that I miss about Word, but it did have a really robust collection of fonts, and Google's collection is not quite as robust. But we can fix that by using an add-on called Extensus Fonts. So here it is, and notice it says free, so I just click on the word free, and then it's going to actually add the add-on to my doc. Now, once it's there, it will stay there until I delete it. So I don't ever have to worry about adding it again. But the very first time you add one, then it's going to ask you for some permissions. So at first it's asking me to choose the proper account, and then it will ask me to allow it to manage inside my doc and do what it needs to do. So I'm going to click on allow, and then in just a few moments, this add-on will appear inside my doc. So it's still working. My internet's a little bit slow. I can see that it's still working. And once it's loaded, I'm going to have access to tons and tons of fonts. So this is what I'm about to show you. So now if I go back up to add-on, I can see that I now have it. I can click Start, and then a menu will come up on the right side of my screen. And it's going to show me this unbelievable collection of fonts that I can choose from. These are, I'm just in the A's right now. So now I'm down into the B's. So it's just as simple as highlighting some words in your document and then double clicking on the font, and then you'll see in just a moment that the font will appear inside your document. Yes, there it goes. It's just that simple. So this works out beautifully, especially if you're printing something or making it into a PDF and you need some kind of unusual font. It really is a wonderful thing to have access to. And that's Extensus Fonts. Another one I'd like to show you just briefly that I think has huge implications for educators is called the Highlight Tool. So what the Highlight Tool does is it allows you and your students to create certain highlighters. You can create like a library of different highlights that represent different things. For example, I've made one because I'm an English teacher. This is just how my brain works. I've made one for grammar errors. So what I could do as a student if I had this, I could give my students an assignment where they would look for spelling errors, verb tenses, comma splices, and capitalization issues. So let's just pretend for a moment that this word is misspelled. So if I highlight it and I click spelling error, then you'll notice that this will turn red. And now I've indicated that's a spelling error. What if this has a problem with verb tense? It doesn't, obviously, but if it did, then I could highlight it in green. If a comma splice is right here, I could just highlight these and then click on comma splice and it turns green. Capitalization, what if this doesn't need to be capital? And there we go. So now I have a collection of highlights. But here's one of the most exciting things it can do. So I can extract my highlights and collect them as a student and then turn them into my teacher. So check this out. So if I extract my highlights by color or by sequence, I'm extracting. I've clicked on by color. I should have done by sequence. I'm going to put them in the current document, okay, or I could put them in a new document. So let's look at how that looks, okay. If I scroll down here, check it out. And see, I even have a key here, and this helps my teacher very quickly look at it and see what I've chosen as the problems that lie in this paper. So isn't that cool? So I created that in my highlighter library. So if you click on that, you can really assign any color to anything. And I mean, the possibilities are endless. This is not just for English teachers, but let's say I want to create a library like for fact and opinion. So if I call this set, I'm making a set. Okay, fact, opinion. And then for facts, I'm going to choose a different color. So if I click on this highlight, I can really click anywhere, and I'm just going to choose the traditional yellow for fact. And then I'm going to add one. So you see where I'm going with this? And I can make a highlighter library. I can make different sets of highlighters so I can use them over and over. And I can even export them to my students. So if I feel like my students are maybe too young to do this on their own, to make their own highlighters, then I can actually make a set, export it to them so that they can use it. How amazing is that? This is just a wonderful tool that's been here all along, and you may not have known it. So just really quickly, I'd also like to show you in Sheets an example of an add-on. So let's say I have this sheet, has some student grades, and then I realize that I should have given two columns, one for first name and one for last name, because that would allow me to alphabetize and it would have just worked better. Well, that's okay because I can use an add-on to split these names. If I highlight this column, go up to add-ons, I have one called split names. I click start, and it's going to ask me, how do you want to split these names? Now, because I've done this before, it will probably come up with my old choices, but if not, like the other time when we brought it up the first time, it will probably ask you for permissions and so forth. So I'm going to check first name and last name and that my column has a header. Okay, I'm going to click split and watch how easily I can split these names into two columns. I don't have to retype them. I don't even have to label the columns because it does that for me. How cool is that? So I can also do things like take something from all caps to no caps or have the first letter capitalized. And in forms, I can do things like cut off a form when a certain number of people have registered for something. So add-ons are just amazing, and there's so many possibilities. I really hope you'll dig into them and find some that really work for you. I really think you're going to enjoy it, and I'm excited for you.